Greeting, beloved elite, love, Lord and Lord, that's a divine diamond light. Christ consciousness shift here with a video. This video is about marriage. I'm going to start off saying that there have been many marriages that don't have anything to do with love. And there's a passage in the Bible that hints towards sex being marriage. Obviously, you've got that part where Yeshua says, two become one flesh when you get married, when he's talking about divorce and how men have a hardened heart why there is divorce and leave women with children and stuff like that and get a younger thing or whatever. The two becoming one flesh can be referred to as having sex or having a baby, because the child represents the two different DNAs in one flesh. You have the mom's DNA, you have the father's DNA, and the child is the embodiment of the two different people in one. So that's the two becoming one flesh aspect. But I'm going to address a lot of marriages are arranged where the parents, because of their desire to maintain and have wealth and power and all of this stuff, like could be royal families or people that have high status in society, they marry their children to other wealthy families to keep and expand on their wealth. Like, that's a complete disregard to the will of the child. Maybe the child may not want to marry whoever they want them to marry because of wealth and power and stuff like that. So this is my argument, where sometimes marriage doesn't have anything to do with love. And let me go to that passage in the Bible before I continue, where it refers to marriage being sex. So I'm here in Genesis 24 verse 66 and 67. The servant told Isaac all the things that he had done. Then Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent, and he took Rebekah, and she became his wife, and he loved her. Thus Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. So the word took Rebekah was the process of marriage. Like, the woman came. It's a long story about how this servant went to get a wife for Isaac by the order of Abraham or whatever. And when she come, the servant tells Isaac what the whole agenda or dilemma about getting this woman. And then when he got to tell the story, he takes Rebekah into the tent and he took her. And then that was the marriage. And then he was comforted after his mother's death. So the took him process is not doing the vows and the altar and saying with the priest or whatever. It was the act of sexual intercourse, which was the marriage. That's hinted in the Bible there. And then I'm going to show a little clip of Sleeping Beauty, where royal families actually marry their children for expansion and wealth and power and stuff like that. So
Thus, on this great and joyous day did all the kingdoms celebrate the long-awaited royal birth. And good King Stephen and his queen made welcome their lifelong friend.
The Royal Highnesses, King Hubert and Prince Philip.
Fondly had these monarchs dreamed one day their kingdoms to unite. Thus today would they announce that Philip, Hubert's son and heir, to Stephen's child would be betrothed. And so to her his gift he brought, and looked unknowing on his future bride.
there we go. And now, the spiritual aspect of marriage now. The spiritual aspect of marriage is really the commitment to love. Because there's a lot of people that can just have sex with random people and they wouldn't class themselves as being married. So there's the aspect of committing to loving someone and then having the sexual intercourse. And that is like what we can class as marriage. If you because the sexual intercourse actually intertwines the spirits. They call it soul tie. You can create a soul connection with somebody that you have sex with. So even if you don't really have the desire to have a relationship with this person that you're sleeping with, the spiritual aspect is still taking place. So you can demand a sever of any spiritual bond that you've created through sex with anybody that you don't really want to be in a long-term relationship, or you don't want to have a tie connection to whoever you have had sex with, whatever. Yeah, just putting that out there. But yeah, the actual commitment to loving somebody, that's the real marriage. Because it's not always you having to lie down and have the sexual intercourse in order to be in a healthy relationship. Like, yeah, basically it's not the be all and end all. It is a part of it. It is like the physical manifestation of the love. When people love each other, love is like the glue that makes people want to draw together, and the closer you get together, the more likely you are to have these sexual interactions. But sometimes it's not even love that's drawing people together. Like, well, not the love that people decide to build a family on. It's just a love to just have that feeling of being close to somebody, but not on that long term, not with that long term plan. And I feel like each to their own. Like, there's stages when it comes to this love and interacting with the opposite sex. But the more mature that you are, it is best, especially when it comes to having children and stuff like that, it is best to be in a commitment, be in a situation where you want to be with that person on a long on a long-term basis. I want to build with that person. I want to actually stay with that person. And then, yeah, that is what I would class as a marriage. Like, in society, people can actually get married just because of like people wanting to have a stay in a country and stuff like that. People will pay people money to get married. You don't know the person. You don't. There is no desire to be living with that person, and it's just money in your pocket. You walk down the aisle, you say your I do's and all of that, and that's all just because of the system of the government control. People can bypass that through marriage, come live in a country, and things like that. So this is why I say that marriage is not necessary, doesn't really have anything to do with love. The real spiritual aspect of marriage is when people make a commitment to love each other, stay together and build together. That's it. A lot of these marriages that go on, like, another point, some normal relationships that didn't go down the aisle, go to the church, get married, put on a dress, have the cake, go on a honeymoon and all of that stuff. Some of those relationships last longer than certain marriages. And why did that happen? Is because a lot of people believe in the actual marriage ceremony, like that certifies a love to last. And that's not the case. Sometimes a lot of people don't understand. Like, some people get married for all different kind of situations. You know what I mean? And when they have to deal with the reality of having to go through certain things with their partner together, they may not even be compatible. Like, what you wanted was probably just the looks and the thingy and probably the money and the material side of things. But if there's no spiritual connection there, you may not even last. Some people that get together and they don't actually do the marriage type of thing, their relationships are lasting because they have an actual spiritual connection that is beyond the physical. And this is what allows their relationship to actually last longer than those that actually got married. So, yeah, those are the points that I wanted to make about marriage. A lot of it is not what it a lot of it isn't genuine. It's not really about love. When it comes to people marrying their children off, the children don't get a say. That goes against free will. That's not really love. That's just desire for wealth and power. When people get married to bypass the governmental laws in a country, that's not love. You know what I mean? When people want to get married just because the person that they're attracted to hasn't got this status and power and all that stuff, but they're not really compatible on a soul level, that's not likely to last. You know what I mean? So I definitely would recommend, if you have a love interest, do a chart compatibility reading, and see how your energies match up. I definitely recommend the 13 signs astrology. That's much more accurate. You get to learn about each other on a soul level, and it can tell you certain things that may be challenges, so you can actually predict certain situations that may occur in your relationship and figure out ways to how to deal with them before they even occur, or actually just be mentally prepared for some of these challenges to occur in your relationship, so it's not like such a surprise and such a big deal, because some of these challenges that people may face, they're not really aware. Like, love is good and it's happy and fun and joyful and stuff, but it also comes with its challenges. And when you're prepared to deal with those challenges in your relationships, in your partnerships and stuff like that, then you're more likely to be able to get through them. Yeah, so I'm gonna leave it there, family. That's my message on marriage. And yeah, I'm gonna leave y'all in peace, love, oneness. Amen. So be it.